What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we are finally going to be taking a look at the Diamond Select Toys Amazon Original Series Invincible. Wave 1 Invincible and Omni-Man. Now, these were supposed to come out literally, I think it was originally for July, and it's like mid-December now, so like that's kind of ridiculous that it took that long to get here. I understand the shipping and cargo ships in the water, whatever. I understand, I totally get that. But damn, did these take a long time to come out. But now that they're here, your boy here, amongst many other people, are very, very happy to have them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging, because this is brand new style packaging. On the front, you can see Invincible with the Invincible logo, and then obviously up here it says Invincible Deluxe Figure, whereas on this one it says Omni-Man Deluxe Action Figure. Invincible is blue, Omni-Man's red. If they make more waves, I'm wondering to see if the characters will be like their corresponding color, or like good guys are blue and bad guys are red. I don't know. But Omni-Man's not bad. I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to spoil the book for those who haven't read it. But on the side, you get to see Invincible and Omni-Man, which looks sick. The Invincible logo up at the top again. On the back here, you get some read-ups. I think they have the same read-up, so there's the read-up if you want to read that. You just get product images of the figures, which aren't too amazing. On the bottom here is the Invincible's barcode, and then there is Omni-Man's. So yeah, I mean, these figures, I think they look cool, but we'll see how they play around with out of the box, because Diamond Select is hit or miss with that kind of stuff. So without further ado, I think it's time to finally open these guys up and take a closer look. So taking these guys out of the package, very mixed feelings about them, because on one hand, I'm just so happy to have these characters on the shelf, but then on the other hand, Diamond Select just made some pretty poor choices with the articulation setup here. Some minor things here and there, but overall, I'm still very happy to have these. Plus, they do come with a great amount of awesome accessories, which, if Diamond Select's good at one thing, it's their accessories. They know what to do with it when it comes to that. But articulation, not so much their strong suit. But we're going to go ahead and start with my more favorite of the two, I guess, which is Invincible, because I have a little bit of something special that I'm going to do with Omni-Man at the end of the video, which we'll talk about. But taking a look at the head sculpt here, the sculpt is there. I like that. I think that looks just like the show, because the show's a little bit different style than the book. The Robert Kirkman books, it's a little bit different, but I think the skin tone's a little too pale. Like, if you look at Omni-Man, he's definitely like more pink and skin tone-ish, and I understand that Mark has a little bit more of a different skin tone than his father, but I think should be a little bit closer. It seems pretty pale. Going down into the body, the paint is really clean. I love the sculpt, like the stylized, like animated look with like the heavy lines on the muscles. You know, in the lack of certain muscles, just to emphasize like the art, like the cartoony look, or animated. I guess it's not really a cartoon, but you get the fists with the fingertips painted very cleanly. I like that. The paint is very clean on this guy. Going down into the legs, you get the bright blue like boots, I guess. I don't really know, but I really, really like the way that he looks. Like, and just standing there, just like a little head nod, you know, that's awesome. It's just, oh man, it's just like, I don't know, because I want to be mad at these guys, but like, it's really hard not to be, it's really hard to be, because like, there's Invincible on my shelf now. I've read the original book a while ago, probably before I probably should have, because it's a pretty violent and adult-oriented story, but when I was a kid, I read it, and I loved it. Invincible's so awesome, and to finally have like good action figures on the shelf is awesome, or half decent ones. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and showcase Mark's accessories, because there are quite a few to go through. He does come with an alternate head, which I have not tried to put on yet, which is an angry head. Definitely fitting. I like that. So you're going to head and pop the head off. Okay. There we go. It was a little hard. It's a dumbbell joint, not a double ball peg. And the cool thing about this, which I'll talk a little bit more on articulation, he doesn't look up too well, but you could cut out a little bit of the back of the neck and have him look up more, which is probably something I'm going to do, because both of these characters are flying characters. But this may be a pain in the ass to get on All right, give me 1 second. I think I have to heat this up because this is not going to go on and I don't want to break this. Okay, so I was able to get it on. It did take a little bit of heat and a little bit of force, but it is on and it does look good. I like the teeth. I'm more of like a smiling Mark kind of guy because he's like a nice guy for the most part. So I like that, but this head sculpt is really good and turned out very nice. So I like that. And he does come with a slew of interchangeable hands. He comes with like clenchy / grip hands. He doesn't really have anything to grip necessarily. You'll kind of, but you'll see what that is in a second. But these are painted very nice. He comes with open flat palm hands for flying. At least that's what I would use them for. So you get those. You do get a loose baseball and a baseball mitt from that original like trailer scene in the first episode, or like the second episode, I think it was actually. You know, where he's first learning his powers and he throws it around the world to his dad, which is pretty sick. And obviously it needs a lot of power to do that. So they gave you this ball that does plug into the flight stand, which I don't really know who would do that. I mean, it's pretty cool for like a picture or two, but it's a lot of work to edit all that out just to put the baseball there. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And as you probably guessed, he does come with the weird Diamond Select flight stand, which I'm not a big fan of. They tend to break pretty easy, and they don't really ever hold the support of the figure. The peg hole in the back, you know, you got to like angle it right. And yeah, I don't want to break it. So these kind of suck. I wish they would not do these and just give other accessories, but whatever. And then he does come with this like piece of concrete with like the rebar inside of it. This is awesome. I like this a lot. It's a big accessory. It's like kind of, I think it feels hollow because it's like a little squishy, but you get the rebar coming out. It looks awesome. I love the stylization of the sculpt, you know, a little bit cartoony, and you know, it's big enough for him to like stand on, or like if you want to use like one of the grip hands, you could like probably put the piece of rebar through his hand and like act like he's like hitting his dad with it or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. So I like this a lot. This is pretty awesome. So a great amount of accessories from Diamond Select as usual, because they tend to know what to give their figures. Okay, so I went to switch out the head again, and lo and behold, as I predicted, it broke. So that's a lot of fun. I even heated it up and everything, so just be really careful with that. Luckily, it's just the head, so the head can just sit on there, so I'm not like too upset about it. I mean, sure, do I want that to happen? No, but whatever. I mean, it gives me more articulation now, so I'll look on the bright side of things, and I can fix it. Just, I really wish I didn't have to do that, but the head would go around 360, and typically with the peg intact, it only got to about there. So now, you know, I can get it up as far as I want. So what are you gonna do? Whatever. Shoulders move up that far. Down, they rotate 360. You do get a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbows, which is so stupid. Why are we getting single jointed elbows with a pin in it at that, which is stupid. And you get a wrist swivel and a horizontal hinge on all of the hands. You get a diaphragm joint that literally does nothing going forward and back, like a little bit of bobble. You do get 360 rotation and like no pivot. This is so like useless. I might try to heat it up and pop it apart and try to add a little bit more articulation in there. I don't know now with the stupid head breaking, so we'll see about that. They gave them hinge hips, so like he can do the splits and he can kick forward all the way and he can kick back. But why you guys, they started doing the ball joint hips and those just look better, especially for like characters like in skin tight suits like these two. I don't know why they did that. You do get a thigh cut that's like just kind of blatantly right in the middle, and this side seems like it's going to come off, so I don't know, whatever. Thigh swivel that I'm not a big fan of because it kind of looks ugly. Single jointed knee that does not rotate. Why are you getting single jointed knees? Elbows I can excuse a little bit more, but knees, come on now, that's a little ridiculous. Ankles move down. They do move up. There's a little bit of paint flecking, but nothing too bad. And then good ankle pivot. So, I don't know. The articulation is a little disappointing on this. I just, oh man, I'm so upset that freaking broke. Like, that is the second time this week that a figure is broke on me. And I did what I was supposed to. You know, you shouldn't have to heat shit up, but even when you do, the fact that it still breaks is really, really annoying. So, whatever. But, yeah. Decent articulation on Mark. Now to look at his father, J.K. Simmons, a.k.a. Omni-Man, or Nolan Grayson, or whatever the hell you want to call him. Now this cape, I'm just going to get it right out of the way. This cape is atrocious. It is so hard and stiff and just doesn't let him do anything, like in terms of like arcing back, and I don't like it at all. So I am immediately gonna cut the back off and do a soft goods cape, which I will show at the end of the video, but I do not like that at all. The head sculpts, or this head sculpt, does look really nice. I think it looks just like the show, at least from like certain angles. You know, his mustache is painted good, the sides of his hair are painted nice. Going down into the arms, you do get like that nice stylized sculpt again with like the angular muscles and shit like that, which I do like. On the side here, you get the paint that goes like I guess like that little divot in there. That does look nice. You get the O for Omni-Man, which I think looks awesome. The paint is off by like a smidge on the, like, this is sculpted, so it's like painted on the inside. It's a little off, but it doesn't really bother me. The legs don't really have much going on until you get to the boots, which are that same design but just inverted, which I kind of just realized now. So like on the side, he's got a red glove with a white line, and then he's got a white boot with a red line. So that's pretty cool. But the boots are there. And then the sculpt of the cape is just weak. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm definitely going to do a soft goods transfer for that. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because it's one big piece that goes into his neck. So I'm probably going to have to rip the whole thing out, tuck a cape inside there, and then, like, I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I think overall it looks, you know, like it's supposed to. He's obviously a completely different body type than Mark, so he's buffer and a little bit taller. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good for Omni-Man. But as with Mark, Omni-Man does come with a good amount of accessories, not as much as Mark, but he does come with some. So you get a different style flight stand. You get like this. So it's not like the hinged ones. I don't know if this was what the baseball is supposed to go on. Maybe that is what that's for, but the baseball came with Mark. So, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't come with his own flight stand, so I'm going to assume this is for the ball, because if you put Omni-Man on it, you can't even put it on it. So yeah, I'm assuming this is for the baseball, which is pretty cool, I guess. You know, you can rotate it around and get all the angles and whatnot, but whatever. And then sorry, I just whacked the camera. For hands, you get the big grippy hands, like clenchy, angry hands. You get the superhero flight pose hands, so like when he's flying, flat hands. You get the hand with a baseball sculpted in it. The baseball does not come out, so when he's throwing, and then he has the mitt, as does Mark, or like Mark does. And he also comes with an interchangeable head, which is an angry head, which from like looking down, like that looks badass. I like that a lot. Looking up looks a little weird, but you know, certain angles it looks awesome. I'm a little scared to... Oh, he came off a lot easier, actually. His came right off, so... Oh, shit. I'm assuming that the head should pop on pretty easy. I don't know. Let me go heat this up. I'm not risking this again. So there you go. He does have the angry head on there, which is probably the head I'm going to leave on him because he's Omni-Man, so he's like always angry, which I like this head a little bit more than the other one. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and run through the articulation now, and I'm not going to switch out the head this time. So you get virtually no articulation in the head going up and down, like barely anything. You do get side to side and a little bit of pivot, so you can get like those menacing poses if you need to. You could funnel out a little bit more like in the ball peg, which is something I'm probably going to wind up doing just to get a little bit more articulation in the head, but you know, decent, I guess. Shoulders only move up that far. He's got bigger shoulders than Mark. You do get them to rotate 360 with a bicep swivel and a single jointed elbow again, which really sucks. It's a pinned single jointed elbow that is kind of the worst scheme for an elbow, and then a wrist swivel and horizontal hinge on all of the hands. His diaphragm joint, as like Mark's, barely does anything, does not move forward, and will not go back because of that cape. He does barely pivot at all, and he does not rotate all the way. So virtually pointless to be completely honest, which is really disappointing, but I'm going to try to pop it apart and, you know, try to get a little bit more articulation in there because that's virtually, like, useless. The hips, the freaking hinge joint hips, which are so ugly, will move outwards that far. Kick forward, back. He's got more of a butt than Mark, so he doesn't really kick back. You do get a thigh cut in there, which isn't as ugly as Mark's, but still not that good. Single jointed knee. Why? I don't know. Why? Whatever. And then the ankles hinge up, down, and pivot side to side. You do get a little bit of paint flecking with these two, so not that big a deal, but yeah, just like very mediocre articulation, like barely passable as an action, like an adult action figure. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the route that they went for these because with their Diamond, like with their Lord of the Rings characters, they have a lot more articulation. So I don't know why they just didn't do that here, but I'm going to go ahead and try to swap out this cape. So let's see how that looks with a soft goods cape. So you already know we went ahead and ripped off this piece of shit. Luckily, it's solid, but it like cut right through it, so it was like softer. I don't know how to explain it, but and then it's not the cleanest. You see a little bit of the glue residue, which I can scrape off. I just didn't do it for the sake of the video. Just lined it up with where I cut it, glued it on, and boom, there we go. Soft goods Omni-Man cape. Eventually, I'd like to get like a wired cape on him, but I got to learn how to sew a little bit more because I want to get a wired cape on him and Superman. But whenever I find like those Titan Heroes series figures, I tend to take like a Superman one. I tend to take them like at like thrift stores or whatever because they do come with soft goods capes, and you can cut them up to whatever size you want. And typically they're pretty good quality for a low price. I mean, plus, you know, you can keep that Titan superhero figure for like a kid or something. I usually give them to my niece or my brother or something, or my sister. But you know, I think it's pretty cool, and I'm very happy to have a soft goods cape on him. I think it's a lot better. Again, I can clean that up, just kind of like scrape it off a little bit. But yeah, this looks badass. So you can have it like flowing, and if you get your angles right, it looks sick. So I don't know, just a little suggestion for you guys. I think it definitely improves the figure a lot to have it with a soft goods cape. So I don't necessarily have really anything to compare them to. I just kind of have some like random figures sitting around. Just for a general scale, this is a completely random figure, but I found it for like $5 at a thrift store, actually. The Unmasked Thomas Wayne Batman. So these are 7-inch scale. So if you know anything about the DC Multiverse line, that's kind of what they were going for. But so they're a little bit taller than your average Marvel Legends, but you know, you could fudge them if you wanted to. Like, I kind of wanted to take some pictures of him with Spider-Man, but I left Spider-Man at school, and right now I'm home, so you know, my stuff's all over the place, but they are pretty good in scale. So I like that. So it's that point in the video where you guys are asking yourself, yo, Ant, what are you thinking of this figure? And today I got a lot of thoughts, so stick with me. You know, do we got to do? Grab some popcorn or something, because I do have a lot of thoughts about these guys. Now, I wanted to like these so much more than I do. And I don't hate them. But they could have been a lot better. The fact that we're getting single-jointed, pinless limbs and fucking hinge-jointed hips in 2021, almost 2022, is a little ridiculous, in my opinion. Especially for a hugely popular show in comic book that many people were hoping figures would get made of. So when these were announced, myself, with a lot of people, other people, were very excited to see it. They look great, at least for the most part, the little things here and there, but they look great. But they just don't pose good, and they're not fun toys to play around with. The fact that Mark broke is ridiculous. Just from switching out the heads, I wasn't doing anything I shouldn't have. In fact, I even heated him up, and his head popped off. So now I have to have tack in there forever, or get a new one, or really try to Dremel it out and fix it, which I don't feel like doing any of that. You know, I shouldn't have to do that. But the accessories are really nice. I'll give them that. And Omni-Man is a lot better with a cloth goods cape versus this plastic piece of shit. So, you know, overall, I'm going to give them both the same rating because I feel the same way about both of them. I'm going to give these like a 7 out of 10, unfortunately. I wish they could be more because personally I love them, but I can understand that they're not great figures per se, you know? So, with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts on these guys. I know there's going to be a lot of like controversial opinions on these. contradictory with one another, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about them. So if you have not already, do yourself and me a favor and like, comment, subscribe on the video. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well. I took a couple pictures of these guys duking it out, and you know, why did you make me do this? You know, I could quote the whole show. I love that show, so I could quote a lot from it, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But go ahead, follow me on Instagram. Really appreciate it. Get me to 500 and we'll do a live stream. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll do a live stream. But everything being said and done, that's all I got for today. So as always, let me know, guys. You coppin'? I'll see you later. Peace.